Hello and welcome, guys. It is June the 9th. It is time for the weekly Knowledge Bolide Hangout. I'm Topher Spinnato of Topherspin Meteorites, and hopefully we'll have a lively, interactive crowd today. We have a bunch of people in, and I wish we had more people. I just renewed my Zoom license, and we can definitely handle more people. So if you're on the fence about joining, by all means, please go to my Facebook page, go to events. All the information you need to how to log into the Zoom meetings are there. They're held every Wednesday, and we are just a bunch of people who nerd out on rocks from space and get together and have some good times. We've actually had some comments from people on YouTube asking, "Where's Marco? Where's Marco Geyser? Where's his videos?" Relax. He's back tonight. We have Marco Geyser and also Maxime Denonson both submitted videos. I know that they're working together now because they haven't submitted videos for weeks. Then all of a sudden we get a video from both of them. So I'm excited to show you what they have. Now, I do want to, as we go through these Hangouts, I do want to let you guys know that I hate dead air. So I keep on talking. If you guys say my name, I'll stop talking. So if we're in the middle of something and you have something to interject, just go ahead and interject it. Because I ask a lot of times if anyone has any questions, and no one has any questions, but I feel like maybe during the discussion, you may want to interject. Go ahead and interject. That's what we're here for. So everyone and anyone is welcome. I have a hand up, but I don't know if he's ready. Is Cameron ready?
Give me 30 more seconds. Okay.
Well, that's fine. I'm going to go to myself then. So I'll show off something that I'm really excited about. This is, last week I showed my brand new 418 gram slice of Brenham from Kansas. So this is what I replaced it with.
That's nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, the camera's not going to zoom in. Some days it does, some days it doesn't. But this is my new Brenham. And
how thick is that slice, Topher?
Oh, it's not a slice, buddy boy. Dum, dum, dum.
Oh wow.
Wow. An Inca.
Yeah, baby.
Yummy.
Definitely drooling on that one.
Yeah. Well, this right here is actually an unfortunate byproduct of the sealant. When it was being sealed, some of the sealant dripped over the edge, and I now have sealant on here. So I'll probably find the most caustic thing to remove that without hurting the meteorite.
You know what the sealant is?
I don't know what it is. Do you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. If anyone has any ideas or suggestions about what is safe for a meteorite, an expensive meteorite, to get this off without, if not, I'll just leave it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Topher, I've got some thoughts on that. So anytime you approach something like that, you generally want to start with the least volatile stuff possible. So the one I always start with is naphtha, which is the old Zippo lighters.
Yeah.
The fuel that's used in those is sometimes called rosinol fuel. That one first, and then isopropyl alcohol, and then ethyl alcohol, and then only if you need to, acetone. And I would probably do that with a Q-tip, just a dab at a time. That is a stunningly beautiful end slice. The on there is really sweet, especially right in the center of the cut face there.
So I can hear Ron's wheels turning now. He's thinking, how can I backlight that and put a picture frame around it?
You need a really you need the Luxor. You need the Luxor lamp to light through this one. Hey, Pat, if you wouldn't mind, Pat, I would love for you to send that in the summary when we're done, so I can put that in the notes of YouTube, okay? Because that was great information. I heard my name.
After that, do you need to neutralize it with anything, or just it's just going to evaporate off? So you don't have to worry about it.
All of those are organic solvents, and if you use them just sparingly a bit at a time on a Q-tip, you can soak up stuff like that. And that progression is from least volatile to most volatile. And acetone will damage a lot of things. It'll attack a lot of plastics and such. But when I'm faced with an unknown like that, that's the progression I go through.
Gotcha.
Topher, you might want to protect the surfaces, the polished and etched surfaces. You might want to protect them with some blue tack or something like that, so it doesn't run back around on the face.
Mm-hmm. Or do it with the piece upside down so that any stray solvent drips off of that of the outside surface. Yeah.
So you're saying use gravity as our friend? Okay.
Gravity can be your friend. Yes.
Nice. These are.
You might want to strip it all off and then just recoat it.
I don't want to do anything more than anything. I don't want to do anything to it. What I would rather do as little as necessary to make it as perfect to me as I can. It's not a perfect piece. There's a lot of when you looked at it at an angle, you see a bunch of the olivines have come out, and that's the nature of the beast when you cut some pallasites, but especially Brahen, because Brahen, this is Brenham. Brenham from Kansas has those really round chondrules, really round olivines. And if you look at it sideways, you can see where some have fallen out due to the cutting. So I really stripping stuff off and then putting stuff. I feel really safe in it and secure that it's stable and going to be like this for a long, long time. So I'd rather not monkey with it too much.
That would look nice on the cover of Meteorite Times.
So for the rest of the show, it'll be back here, dead center. And this happens to be Cameron's shirt right here. I haven't mailed it to him yet, but that's Cameron's shirt as our background. So it's only fitting that we should go to Cameron Smith next.
How's it going?
Very well.
I'm sure I'll buy a rock from you sooner or later. And you can use that as my packaging.
Yeah.
So I bought this for my birthday.
Cool.
This is NWA 13758 or Rumaruti.
Ooh,
Nice. The Rumaruti.
So
I
got this from Juan Avila's, and I always say his last name wrong. Poblador. This showed up, I think, exactly a week sooner than I was told it would, but has some nice brecciation in there. It's 12.9 grams, and he polished that side for me. So,
and that's NWA 13758.
Yes, it is. And then
it's actually a beautiful meteorite on the interior.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of brecciation, I got some brecciated eucrite from this month's. Oh, it's provisional. It's NWA to be determined.
Ooh.
But this is Roberto Vargas's new eucrite, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Cool.
That's beautiful.
It's very nice.
So, yeah, this is 20.4 grams split up into two pieces.
Nice.
You're in the $100 a month club.
Wow.
Yes, this is the $100
That
entry.
is ridiculously low price for something that he's currently paying to get classified, sliced eucrite, and then it's not just anything; it's just beautiful brecciation. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hit him up for a slice of that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So, and that's all I had.
It's in the mail.
Oh, let's see if anyone can identify this real quick. Let me see, gallery view. All right. Let's see if anyone can identify this. You've already seen it once tonight. This is the exact same Rumarudi
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that Cameron just showed. I wish I had the lighting that Pat has. But you can see all kinds of good stuff in there.
Nice.
yeah, that one would really pop with the reflective cross polarized.
Yeah, there's layers and layers and levels of all kinds of good stuff in there. I have I think a 400 gram end cut of it. It's gorgeous with crust as well. So yeah, if anyone's looking for a Rumarudi that they want to cut or lap or work on, I have this one here. Not that this is a sales show, but I have this one here, and you guys saw how beautiful Cameron's was. That's what they all look like on the inside. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate you checking in with us and showing off. Cameron is the ambassador of the Meteorite of the Month Club. So yeah, I appreciate you doing that for us. Bruce in New York.
So since Cameron started it off,
Oh,
Very nice.
slice.
Nice.
look at the polish.
Yeah, the polish is incredible. So here's the backside, which is unpolished, but still looks pretty
Jumped
amazing.
out at you. Yep.
Yeah. So
Very nice.
it's just, yeah, I mean, just it's like a mirror.
That's crazy, man.
So,
Wow.
so I got that. I got a couple other items.
And that's the Angrite that's being classified.
Being classified, yeah.
Do we think it's going to be a polymict? Because it looks like there's several different color stones in there.
Yeah, all the card says brecciated Angrite, and it's and with a question mark after that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
provisional. Yeah.
Yeah. So up next is, I'm out of my mind. I think I'm gonna have to take a break from buying stuff for a little while.
Wow. Yeah.
So any guesses before I flip it over?
I'm having a really hard time deciding.
Yeah.
Is it Punger?
No.
No. It looks like a stony, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
I can't ID it.
I don't know if this will help, but here's the
Oh wow, that's now let me see the backside for 1 second. That's the lunar melt.
Yep.
Yeah.
NWA 13788.
Which one was it?
13788.
Matt Streams.
Yep. So I got this from him.
Wow.
Yeah. Occasionally, all of us have to go on a timeout for buying meteorites.
Yep.
I'm currently in one.
But wait, there's more.
Now we're gonna see
Rabbit
why
holes.
You've got a sickness, Bruce.
That was only half the problem. Here's the other half.
Oh,
That
is
another
that
lunar?
11273?
No, it's not. This is also Matt's 13907.
Wow.
The Anorthite.
Yeah.
Oh, the Anorthite.
That is a scientifically important one.
Yeah. So
Explain. I don't want to take any time away from Bruce, but I'd love for you to explain why that's important, because we're very excited about that one, and we talk about Highlands or whatever. I would love for when Bruce is done, if you could talk about that, Pat.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so
those are beautiful pieces, man.
they are, and they're substantial sized ones as well. You know,
the 13788 is 35 grams, and the Anorthite is 24.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I need to
No
break.
kidding.
very significant sizes. Anorthite is when we look up at the moon, the white areas that we see on the moon are the Lunar Highlands, and they are almost entirely anorthite. And so in the impact melt breccias, or just, well, actually not melt breccias, just the impact breccias, the material that you see that's white is anorthite, and that particular one has a lot more anorthite in it than some of them. The when my turn is up, I'll show a 11273, but yeah, that one is I don't know if it's one of one, but it's extremely uncommon in its classification in that it calls out anorthite.
I think there's about 30 some odd that are labeled in the anorthite group, from what I remember. Let me see if I can the papers.
Yeah. On the other one, the melt one, that's 1 of 5.
Yeah, and when I noticed on some of his cards it said 1 of 3, so I asked him about that, and he said, "Well, when I first got it, it was 1 of 3, and since then 2 more have been identified." So,
oh, that stinks.
It's a
I mean, it's great that more are found and identified, but it
so the Metbowls has there are 75 approved meteorites classified as anorthite. I don't know how many of those are, you know, like Ansmet material. How many of us could actually have?
Yeah. Of the 73, 72 are from Antarctica. So really there's only 1. Talking about 1, how about the one and only James Shelton?
Well, Cameron and Bruce showed their meteorite of the month, and
you got to back block it with something. You
gonna work.
Psychedelic, man.
There you go. Almost.
There it goes. This is the $50 level. Still 9.6
really
grams.
nice.
Nice
Wow.
specimen. Wow, I can't get that to stop flashing.
Turn
Can't
off
even
your
get
background.
focus.
Yeah, it's looking for anything that's not a person to fill in.
Whoa.
That's a big
Nice.
thing.
Well, I'll flash it back to the 60s.
Filled that box right up.
They do a pretty good job at the meteor of the month for like the bang for your buck. I mean that's a nice brand new getting classified Ucrite. You know, for the prices they're offering, which is, you know, $50 a month or $100 a month. Cool.
Yeah, 10 years ago that would not be the price for that kind of a Ucrite.
Yeah.
Oh no.
James, did you have something else you wanted to show, or I didn't want to?
No, I just opened that one up about 3 hours ago.
Oh, nice.
So did I.
Hey, me too.
Day was the day.
When the mail arrives on Tuesday or Wednesday, we have a good hangout.
No kidding.
Yeah. Talking about good hangouts, it's great to hang out with our next guest, Chris Monk, everyone.
Hello, guys.
How's it going? I
Hey,
just got a
Chris.
piece from him today too.
So I alluded to last week having a bunch of stuff in the mail, and fortunately, some of that stuff arrived. So I got 5 pieces. One of them is this. It's Erg Chech 002. And I'm excited more about the other pieces. Will tell you something. So I also got these Tarda, bunch of little pieces.
Good amount.
And And I would like to point out too that I got these from, I'm gonna mess up his last name, Daniel Sheik.
Mhm.
Okay, so I got them from him. He was trying to raise money for his trip. And so this is Martian, Poikilitic Shergottite.
Ooh.
Nice.
All but the Erg Chech of what I'm showing right now is all his classifications. So this next one is NWA 13363. This is Angrite.
Nice.
Nice.
Damn.
Little EC.
Look at the crust on that one.
Wow. Dang, dude.
So that one's super cool, but
Sure is.
the creme de la creme
Oh, no.
that I am super excited about, and I'm going to mess this name up too, but Hassi Messaoud,
Messaoud, yeah, I think.
001,
Nakhlite.
Nakhlite. 0.98 grams, almost a full gram.
Nice.
Very much from Batman.
That's a good size for Nakhlite.
Oh my God.
I'm afraid to drop
By a
it.
tenth of a gram.
Just to give people on YouTube who are in the meteorite marketer community an idea, Shergottite is a type of Mars that's most common. And if you want to think that about that on ballpark dollars, think about $100 a gram per Martian Shergottite. What we're looking at in here is the N of SNC, the three types of Martian meteorites: Shergottite, Nakhlite, and Chesignite. So this is a Nakhlite. It's a more rarer one. And if you're ballparking this, you're saying it's $1,000 a gram.
Wow.
But this is also a named location rather than an NWA. And it's a total known weight is very low. So it's
75 grams.
there's only 75 grams of it, and he has a gram of it directly from the classifier. Well,
Oh, yeah.
well
I'm
played.
super excited.
I'll bet. Nice.
I think that was only up for sale for about 2 hours.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with my poor man's meteorite of the month club. But there you go. I was super excited to show you guys that. I've been waiting for that for a little bit now and just shaking at the bit to get it in there.
Excellent. Excellent. So are you on a timeout as well with the rest of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, especially after.
Oh, wait. I'm going to have to call insider BS on that. I'm not going to, because it's going in for classification, but wasn't there a purchase made today?
There was a purchase made today,
Okay.
and after today, I'm on a timeout.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And that was earlier today. So yes, that fits.
Right after my next purchase, I'm cutting myself off.
That's correct.
Only one more. Only one more.
Always one more.
Well, you should. I saw the material that he's procuring, and I'm not going to give anything away because it's totally Chris's thunder. But it is beautiful material from what I saw, and what I know Chris can do with a lap makes me excited. Because I don't know if you guys saw the latest video I put on YouTube or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Monk took a nasty, rough, I didn't think it was salvageable meteorite slice and made a piece of art out of it. So I'm going to show it off real quick, and then we're going to go to Mike Kelly. But check this out. When I first got this, it looked like someone had used it as a coaster, right?
Oh, that's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it had huge saw marks down the middle of both sides,
Yeah.
and a lip on the bottom that was big enough that it would self stand up.
Wow.
Oh, no kidding.
Right down here, yeah, this was so wide on both sides that it literally would stand up. But there's so much going on in this slice, so much. Look at this metal down here.
That's dreamy.
Yeah, it is just exquisitely. I got lost in it taking videos of it. I got lost just shooting videos and zooming in. There's all kinds of stuff on both sides. So what I'm excited for is when you get that kind of a polished finish on a meteorite, and then you have nice material to start with. I can't wait to see what Chris is about to accomplish. So I'll continue plugging my friends and people I love. So Rocks on the Ground is Chris's company. There's his logo. And I should have paid him $5, but he gave me a sneak peek at his certificate of authenticity. And if I had only paid him enough, I could have got #1 written up there. And then, so yeah, good looking COA, good looking material, and a great guy. So
I got number 4.
So #1 is already taken. I think you have to check with Oz. I think that was #4 he got today.
It was.
So maybe I will send you one for that slice I sent you at the beginning, and I will call it 0.
oh, yeah, because according to all my old friends, I'm a total 0 anyway. So that's pretty awesome. Mike Kelly in the house.
How's it going, guys? Got a couple of things that I was excited about that I want to share with you guys. So this is a nice little 1/4 gram of Mifflin, Wisconsin. And what I was really happy about this, and Topher can relate, this is number 60 of 60 for me for the Cloudy Nights Meteorite Challenge.
That is awesome. I've been chasing those 60 for about 3 years. I think I have 47. I had 48, but I sold one because I'm a dealer, not a hoarder.
Yep. So you've been chasing them as long as I've been chasing them. That was kind of when I got into meteorites. First off, I was looking for hey, what are the pieces that every collector should have? And that was kind of the only list I kind of found that was pretty inclusive and had a lot of diversity on it.
Yeah.
So I started going after those ones first, and finally got all 60 of them.
Yeah, and it's by no means the quintessential, definitive, finite list of these are. It's just a challenge that's been out there for a while. Someone put together a list. Someone was lazy enough to copy it multiple times, and now it's the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a good diversity. It's scientifically important, historicals, some Americans. There's a bunch of different things on there that make it a pretty cool listing.
It should be up to like 65 by now, though. You know what I mean? It should be.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it could be hotly debated and reworked. There's plenty out there that's really cool. This is really cool. We'll see if anyone figures this one out.
But congratulations on completing it. That's a great accomplishment, man.
Thank you. So,
Mike, I saw the label on this one when you first zoomed in, and all I can say is congratulations.
yeah. Tucson Ring.
Oh man.
So
Tucson Ring. Oh God.
It's not much, but every once in a while for work, it takes me down through Washington, D.C. And that is one of the pieces I'm always in awe at when I'm standing in the Smithsonian, looking at all the Mets they got.
Yeah.
And it's you can't see too much of it in here, but I mean it's known for its tiny little silicates in there.
Actually, you
so
can see
you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit under the scope. They really stand out. It's really cool. Nice. It'd be great to upgrade this one day, but just finding a single piece of it, I was quite happy for.
Yeah.
The Smithsonian thinks it's so important they display it in the same room with the Hope Diamond.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see if anyone gets this.
Oh, wow. Hold on a second. It's got to be a hammer event.
It's a hammer vent. Yep.
Okay, so now
That
let's start narrowing it down, guys.
that doesn't look like Pungar, but I know that the Pungar hit a red tile roof. Is that correct?
Pungar did hit a roof that does look like this. This was a French hammer event.
Wow, I am out of the game then. I'm tapping out.
Travio.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not.
Yeah.
So one of the sidebar things that I collect are pieces of hammer falls or hammer stones that hit cars. So there's definitely 2 pieces that hit a house. There was the large main mass, which is 5.2 kilograms, was witnessed to fall into a garden by a mailman. And then there was one stone that apparently they have some proof. I don't know if they have 100% evidential proof. Went through a windshield on a vehicle, I guess a municipality vehicle.
Cool.
So when I read that, yeah, I had to go find a piece of it. It's a nice little like 0.3 gram piece with crust on the side there.
I was gonna say it's a great sample. You have a crust line. It's large enough you can actually see some features to it. If it's gonna be sub-gram, it's got to be thin to actually be able to show some features of it.
Yeah, I was happy to be able to find that piece.
Wow.
And then since I got to break the micro a little bit. One of the 3 classes I was hoping to upgrade past a gram was Lunar. So this is, and this happened to be, hopefully it'll go through as a Polymict Breccia. It's still under classification right now, but I was able to upgrade to just under 3 grams, 2.9.
Nice.
So Lunar's checked off the list. Acapulcoites and Angrites are next.
Dang. And Angrites are super expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the kind of problem that a large amount of money won't solve.
No, yeah, and I've kind of eliminated ever going for probably the Nakhlites or Chisigonites ever getting to the above gram range.
Oh yeah, those are stupid money.
And although these other ones made me happy, this was the one that actually made me the most happy.
Cool.
So this gets me down to needing 1 main group iron. So Kumerina is a 2C main group iron, and there's 8 of these total out there. And there's some decent sized multi-kilogram pieces in those 8 in Metbol. But there's really not much of any of these out on the market. You don't see these come around too often. So I've been on the hunt for a 2C for just about 3 years now, and finally got it ticked off. And it's got a really cool placitic structure to it. So I don't know if you could see too much of it, but it's got a little spindly needles all throughout the structure, which is really cool. And this thing,
would you call it spin effect?
Is it spin effect?
Yeah, I think that's what they call that the appearance.
Yeah, I'd have to go look that up. I know when I was reading Buchwald's, it was described as like a plastic structure.
Yeah.
From reheating, and there's little spindles in there. So yeah, very well might be.
Mike, have you looked at it under the microscope yet?
I did, and I could shoot you some pictures later, Arthur. It's pretty impressive looking under the microscope. It's got really neat little tapered crystal structures in there for those little spindles. So
I want you to try to zoom in now. Can you?
And of course, for the people that are new, this is an ataxite, and so this is one of the super high nickel content nickel iron meteorites.
Oh yeah, you can see some of them needles.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful. I was surprised in there because when I saw ataxite, I figured it wouldn't have that, but I guess when it did its recrystallization thing, they came out.
Wow,
so,
beautiful.
Hey Pat, what is the nickel content break for ataxites?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's in the 14 to 20-ish% sort of range. Mike, you want to spot me on that?
Yeah, I've heard that, and it can run all the way up into the high 20s and 30s. I think you can also end up a tachocite on the other end of the range where it's super low nickel because you don't have enough to form both camsite and taenite.
Oh, really?
So I think, yeah, a taxitic structure wise, you know, it's just the non-separation of both the two. But don't quote me on it. I'll definitely go do my homework on it and come back to you all next week with the definitive on that one.
Some of these ataxites can be up even into the 40% sort of range nickel content. But typically they're 20-ish.
Yeah, they do run high.
Well, during these hangouts, they're like I've said it a few times, but then I realized we've had 54 hangouts. So I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to repeat it every week. There's no egos in here. We don't pretend that we know everything. I ask a lot of questions because I'm trying to learn myself. And when I'm answering is because I'm proud that I actually know the answer. So don't be afraid to ask questions. If we use terms that you're not familiar with, let us know. If you're watching on YouTube and we keep using terms that you don't understand, like we've said brecciation many times tonight, if you guys don't need to understand what a term is, put it in the comments and I'll try to give you a description of it, or we'll give a description of it in the following week at least. To show you that there's no egos, I want to tell the most embarrassing story meteorite related about me that I can think of at the time. And I challenge anyone to try to beat this embarrassing story, or at least share an embarrassing story meteorite related.
About you or about us?
Oh, nice. If it's about me, you lose 13 cool points, but no. I went to ASU, the Center for Meteorite Studies, and they have a really, really nice public display that's available whenever the building is open. You can walk in, and there's all kinds. There's an Arctic display. There's really nice displays of meteorites, and especially Canyon Diablos and stuff like that. But kind of over here, not getting much attention, the freaking Tucson Ring is sitting right there. And I'm obsessed with this thing. I'm fondling it and drawing attention from security. And I'm asking people to take my picture with it. I'm waiting till they leave so I can have other people take my picture because I wasn't with their picture that they took. And then finally, after about my third or fourth visit over to this thing, his name's escaping me right now, but one of the scientists there came over and said, you know, this is not the real one. This is just a mold. I feel stupid. And of course I told him right away, no, I thought it was real. I was so let down. Because they said, you know, don't topple it, don't try to lift it. So I didn't, you know, I obeyed the rules. So all I could do was like touch it and you know, so that was my first visit ever to ASU before I became this international phenom. Anyone else have a embarrassing story or something to share?
I don't have an embarrassing story, but I do have some rocks to share. And because I'm co-host, I can't put my hand up. This is one of the weird things about Zoom.
That's crazy, but I'm going to keep you as my co-host. You're now spotlighted.
No, okay, no worries. So so we were talking about lunars, and this is a slice of 11273.
Beautiful.
That Rob had classified. And if, you know, the really white stuff you see in there is Anorthite. And this is not a melt breccia, but it's an impact breccia. So this basically was lunar soil or regolith. Sometimes they're called regolith breccias. And a regular meteorite hit it hard enough to actually melt compress the lunar material into a rock, and right down in there by my finger, right between my finger and my fingernail, there's a little bead of metal that is actually part of the impactor.
Oh, nice.
That's
Now,
cool.
this is a cool lunar, but it's not as cool as the lunar quartz that I saw on Etsy the other day.
Yeah.
The red one?
Yeah. We're taking a week off of busting on scammers and fakers because I have a weak stomach.
Yeah, it's such a downer. Yeah.
Hey, Pat, I got a question.
Sure.
Is it a Anorthite or a Northite?
Well,
Anorthite?
I've heard both ways. So I think, and Michael, you can spot me, but I think Anorthite is the name of the mineral by itself. But then you also talk about anorthositic stuff.
Okay.
Mike, did I butcher that, or is that close?
He might
Maybe
be with
stepped away.
I stepped
Yeah.
away. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I have for us today is it crust?
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. So this is my reflected cross polarized light setup with the polarizers at 90 degrees to each other. And then I've got 150 watts of LED glaring, bouncing off the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Look like contraction cracks.
That's nice.
Yep. Contraction cracks. This is crust. This is real fusion crust.
Nice.
Looks like Gadamas.
Yeah, this is an unclassified that I got in a 14.5 cent a gram lot of a big box of almost entirely chondrites.
Wow.
But there were some ugly spuds in there, but there were a couple pretty ones too.
Look at them chondrules popping out of that thing.
Yeah. And right up in here, you can see cracks go in a circle, and that is in fact a chondrule.
Wow.
Bordering on a megachondrule, but yeah, it was a chondrule. So that's crust.
Now, every once in a while, you'll hear the term alligator skin or contraction cracks, and that was a great example of contraction cracks.
Yeah. So what happens with contraction cracks is as it's coming through the atmosphere going fast, the surface of the rock melts, and in some cases, the melted rock as a material has a lower coefficient of contraction with temperature, or the thermal coefficient of distance. And so there's a mismatch between the thermal coefficient of expansion of the interior and of this thin layer of crust on the surface, and the crust pulls apart and you see these contraction cracks. There's another down low to your left, there's another chondrule that has cracks forming around it there. So that is definitely crust. This is the other end of the spectrum. There is zero crust. This is sandblasted, so that all you see is the inside. Now, this has a very light layer of desert varnish on it. Not a real heavy layer. We'll look at one that has a lot more, but on this one, because of the reflected cross-polarized light, you can actually see right through the desert varnish. And desert varnish, when rocks sit out in the desert long enough, they turn black. And we don't know, or at least the latest that I've read, we don't know exactly what it is or what the process is. We think perhaps that it is a microbial layer that grows on the rocks, and the microbes poop out some black magnetite sort of material. I don't think that's been proven. And the other thing too is that desert varnish is extremely thin.
I do want to clarify one thing you said, Pat. You mentioned that the piece was sandblasted, and that's why it looks like it does. That's a natural process. That's not a process that meteorites should go through once they're in your collection.
Exactly.
With the exception of like a nasty iron. Hold on, I can spotlight you again. If you have like an iron that has rust on it, you can sandblast that. But these chondrites, you're not sandblasting. That's a natural feature that happens out in the desert. Just to be clear here.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Topher. You know, these things live. Most of the NWA things live in in the desert of Northwest Africa, and a lot of that area is sandy. And in the blowing wind, the sand over years and decades and centuries grinds off the fusion crust. Okay, so this one is actually a classified stone, but what do you guys think? Is that fusion crust?
I have my opinion, but I'm not going to answer yet.
Patina.
Yeah, it is. It is in fact desert varnish.
Yeah.
This is not crust. Now there are some little tiny patches of crust in there. The very dark bits that you see there, those are likely crust. On this surface, you can see some more of those. And the video compression that's used by Zoom is messing with the resolution we're seeing here. But so that's desert varnish for the most part, with some tiny bits of crust. So what are our thoughts on this one?
Secondary?
I think that's a very good observation. I think it is secondary. You can see some chondrules, and you can see some areas where obviously the crust has been disrupted. But in general, on the right-hand edge of the piece, it's pretty dark and pretty opaque. So that is actually a combination of crusted and uncrusted. On the same rock, if we look at this surface, especially up near the top edge, you can really see those. Sorry, I'll hold it still for you. You can really see the dark areas and even some contraction cracks through those. So those areas are crust, but the area below it, where you can see some internal features, that is mostly desert varnish. So that one, this surface on this one is kind of a transition between some of the crust that hasn't been mechanically disrupted by nature, and that's what the interior of this one looks like.
And can you give that rock a 360 spin without the cross polarized light, please?
Yes, I will. In fact, that's a really good thing to do. So let me switch over to the other camera. And so there's the part we looked at the interior of. This surface here is one of the ones we looked at that is partially crust, partially desert varnish. And
so is that oriented?
No, well, possibly. There's kind of a point here. There's some very shallow regmaglyphs here, and they're very disrupted, but there's some shallow regmaglyphs on the bottom. Yeah, this one could be partially oriented.
Light sculpted at the least. Can you move your mic off your chest? I think it's really safe to say it's light sculpted. It may be oriented.
No, I think light sculpted is, this has the typical, rolled over edges, soft shoulders, this surface with shallow regmaglyphs. And this one sat on the desert floor with this side down, and you can see some rusting there. So it sat like this in the desert. and of the part that's above the sand line, there's some crust and some desert varnish.
I'm going to show an example of desert varnish as well, because I have a great piece that is actually one of our buddies' main mass holder. So John Higgins is on with us as well from Outer Space Rocks. And this, if you look at this side of it, that's desert varnished.
Mm-hmm.
This is just exposed rock. That's desert varnished. And then when you flip it over, you can see that's the fusion crust.
Right, and that is actually despite the fact there's a little corrosion there, that's actually reasonably fresh fusion crust that has that very stippled look to the surface.
And
the
then
fusion,
I have my pocket pen bending little poker right there.
yeah, you can see chondrules poking through the fusion crust.
Yeah.
And then the look on the edge by your thumb there is very telling as well. You can see that there's a fractured surface, and then you can see the bit of fusion crust right along the edge there. And that one has reasonably thick fusion crust. The thinnest I've seen is maybe 0.010 of an inch, or about a 1/4 millimeter. And the thickest crust I've ever seen in person is on peak scale. It actually has a crust that is in spots more than 1 millimeter thick. In large areas, it's more than 1 millimeter thick.
Yeah.
Yes,
Does the natural rain that forms the carbonic acid affect the fusion crust dramatically, or?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that. Of course, you know, the vast majority of the meteorites that we have in our collections are from deserts, and and so the amount of rain that you would get is very small. Typically, the you know, the acid rain is from sulfur dioxide and other pollutants that combine with the rainwater and produce an acid, and that's mostly going to be in more populated or heavily industrialized areas.
Thank you.
I can't believe the flow that this hangout is having. Good job,
Yeah.
Good job, everyone. Really appreciate it.
That's the environment you've cultured and shepherded along here.
I appreciate it, man. That's really cool. I'm gonna hit pause for 1 second. All right, I think we have James Shelton with something for us today.
Yeah, I came across a humorous flow chart on how to identify a meteorite, and that's a bit.
That's pretty funny.
And unfortunately, that is true, because the total mass of recoverable meteorites on the planet is very similar to the total mass of recovered diamonds on the planet. And not very many of us would expect to find a bowling ball sized diamond when we're out on a hike, or a walnut sized one in the gravel in our driveway.
The reason we just came back from a long pause, and that's why you gotta join us live, because you missed so much amazing, great content. It's not gonna be on YouTube. We hit pause and we went to town. We actually had some possible meteorite identification. We had he's going to be a viewer now. We had a viewer make contact and come onto the show and showed some possible meteorites. And we gave, as a collective group, our collective feedback of whether they were or were not meteorites. I put it out there. Do you want to have a show where people can come in and have meteor identification? Now, we're not going to do classification and lab certifications and stuff like that, but we'll tell you that is absolutely not a meteorite. I think that is a meteorite. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I think you got something special. We'll give you a sliding scale. Everything is a continuum here. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please let me know. Put a comment down below. I'd appreciate that. And then we'll get it scheduled and get everyone invited, and we'll do a possible meteorite identification hangout one of these days. So, oh, it's not my 50th birthday. I forgot to update it. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We're still celebrating my birthday.
50th of the week.
All fair.
Yeah, it is our 54th in a row, though. And we have our two European buddies checking in with us. We have Maxime and Marco. And you know, they always give us great content, amazing videos. So let's see what Maxime has for us today.
Hi everyone, Maxime here. I hope you're all doing good. So it's been a very long time since my last videos for the Hangouts, and in the meantime I received a lot of new specimens and I really want to show them to you. So there are a lot of them, so I won't show you everything today, but we will have a look at some of them anyway. So let's go. So I've made a selection of 5 specimens for today. And the first one I really wanted to show you, it is very nice Buzzard Coulee specimen. As you can see, it has a very nice and fresh fusion crust, and you can even see some flow lines on this side.
Yeah, very clear flow lines. That one is very oriented.
Are to some incredible rollover lips on the backside.
No kidding.
Very clearly.
The very small flow lines in combination with the rollover lips and the kind of frothy backside fusion crust makes it oriented. And as Buzzard Coulee is my favorite meteorite, it is simply awesome for me to have an oriented specimen from this fall.
Wow.
That's a beauty.
I'm going to pause this so we don't talk over him.
Yeah, that's a beauty. And all of the features that he talked about are there in spades. The flow lines that radiate from the center of the front side, the rollover lip all the way around the backside, and the thick, frothy fusion crust on the backside. And then if you imaginarily cut the stone in half, top to bottom, you know, right through the center of the front there, the front side is nice and rolled over, and then when you reach the backside, it's like a 90-degree angle.
And
that's a beauty.
That's a Buzzard Coulee. Buzzard Coulee is a Witness Canadian fall. Just for everyone out there to put your mind on it, it's roughly 20 to 25 bucks a gram. But a specimen like this is art, and art is priceless.
Here is a microscope video of it, and you can also see the flow lines and the rollover lips more clearly.
Wow, look at how glossy that is.
Beautiful.
Hold on. We're rewinding that.
Yeah, that's weathering 0.
Yeah, those flow lines. When we're talking about fusion crust, we're talking about, we showed you contraction cracks earlier. Now this is another fusion.
Here's a microscope video of it, and you can also see the flow lines and the rollover lips more clearly.
Goodness.
Fantastic.
Buzzard Coulee is, I think, an H6, something like that. So you're going to see a lot of metal in there, but that's beautiful. And you see this really round lip around it. That's the rollover lip. That's another feature of an oriented meteorite.
The next specimen is this NWA 12925, a CK5 meteorite, which looks great under the microscope. Actually, when you look at it very closely, it looks much more like an aggregate of chondrules. It is actually very friable, and you can see some chondrules going out of the meteorites, those little spheres there.
Wow.
Moreover, you can see plenty of other inclusions in there. It is really wonderful. Look at that.
what is very interesting. Oh, I actually got it super lucky. I was going to try to highlight this little inclusion right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yep.
This is Dustin's classification, right?
That is correct. Yeah, this is a pairing of that. I happen to know because he got it from me. But yeah, this is a beautiful carbonaceous chondrite. And as he said, it's friable. If you look closely at his hands, at his fingers, you can actually see the meteorite is coming off on his hands. Yep. It is friable, and that's a feature of carbonaceous meteorites, not irons or chondrites.
It is really wonderful. Look at that. Next is this nice little Chelyabinsk, which is actually the largest one I have ever had in my collection. As you can see, this specimen has an aerodynamical shape, but it also looks like it has some small radial regoliths. So it has some orientation features.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's absolutely oriented.
Look at that.
You can see it sweeping along this side.
Yes. And that big shiny area is a chondrule that's been melted in half.
Ooh. Wow. Playing with me.
Lips. So it has some orientation features.
Okay, so
look at that.
Hopefully I can catch it at the right angle, but right there.
Yeah, right there. Yep, that's it.
You can totally see the sweeping winds blowing over this, creating not only regmaglyphs, but oriented fluted regmaglyphs.
Right.
And same thing on this side, coming down this way. In just a little bit, you'll see the exact same feature on this side.
Exactly.
That large chondrule shows signs of being glass.
Yeah, chondrules are mostly made of silicate sort of materials, and I've seen a number of chondrules. In fact, some of the ones that Marissa posted on some of the Facebook pages show that there's plates of olivine and other things floating in a glass. So if you take a chondrule and melt it and then cool it super quickly, you get a glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for those that don't follow Marissa on Facebook, you need to, because she is doing some amazing photography with some thin sections. Like, I don't know how she does it. Maybe one of these days, Marissa, maybe one of these days you can have your sister help shoot a video of how you get such amazing shots, please, perhaps. Yeah, because she does amazing thin section photography and just beautiful, beautiful stuff. So
it's her new camera.
It's her new everything, man.
She rocks it.
Next comes a slice that I received
Create
today.
some magic.
It's NWA 13516 from Mirko Grohl from Germany. So this is an unbrecciated eucrite, and you can see that it has a very unique look. I have never seen any other meteorite looking like that.
No.
It is simply wonderful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And very, very unmeteorite-like in a generic sense.
It's almost like Erg Chech.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
kind of denteritic too, and the texture of it.
Yeah, I would have called that a meteor wrong.
Exactly. It's because, like I said, we'll have a show if you guys want our help possibly identify a meteorite. But if you showed me this and asked me if it was a meteorite, I would say no. So
yeah, so that's one of the reasons we don't just look at close-ups, that we want to see the whole rock.
Yeah.
Because we're looking for rolled over shoulders. We're looking for any signs of fusion crust. Lawrence Garvey, or one of the professionals that's done this forever, could look at this and tell you it's a meteorite. But you're talking, you know, one of the top 50 or 100 people in the world.
Yeah. And even when Erg Chech was first presented to the scientific community, and when I say the scientific community, I mean like the top 3 or 4 classifiers, they were in a quandary of whether it was or whether it wasn't a meteorite. And it's obviously been established as a meteorite. And since then, the continuation of scientific study has advanced on it. And now it's been identified as the oldest volcanic material in our solar system.
Right.
Wow.
And it's differentiated material. And so it had to come from a planetesimal of some reasonable minimum size.
Mm-hmm. And this has some similar features to it. So, wow. And this is Merkel-Grau's classification, another good supporter of the knowledge bolide.
He's got extremely good taste what he classifies.
So was that the core mantle or yeah.
That's differentiated material. So it's
differentiated,
yeah. So it's, you know, the silicate rich metal poor.
Next comes a slice that I received today, which is NWA 13516 from Mirko Grohl from Germany. So this is an unbrecciated eucrite, and you can see that it has a very unique look. I have never seen any other meteorite looking like that. It is simply wonderful.
Sweet.
Wow.
Oh,
that's a beautiful, beautiful slice.
Looks like a marble countertop.
Oh my God! Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see in the reflection. You can see the triple junctions.
Yep. I wonder if any of that fluoresces. Probably not.
You know what that surface almost looks like to me? Like a lodronite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be off base, but as soon as the reflection caught that, that is like really cool feature and structure. Wow, you got a winner, buddy.
I think I'm going to have to chat with Mirko.
Whoa.
And the last meteorite for today is Sutter's Mill. So I acquired some Sutter's Mill in the past few weeks, and I looked at them under the microscope, and I was really surprised to see that one of them is crusted. You can see it shows a very porous crust, quite shiny, and actually this fusion crust really makes me think of the one you can see on Tarda. So that was a really interesting observation.
Yeah,
that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I must say that those last weeks, I really missed the Hangouts. So I really hope I'll be able to make more videos for the next weeks. And maybe join you live, who knows. Anyway, have a great Hangout this week, guys, and see you very soon.
Right on. Thank you, Maxime.
Thanks, Maxime.
Yeah, that's wonderful. The fusion crust on the last couple pieces that he showed there is very unique to carbonaceous chondrites, and is only seen in very, very freshly recovered stones. And to me, you know, when you're looking at it in person in your hand or under the microscope, it looks like a burnt marshmallow. And has that frothy sort of appearance to it.
As soon as you pull out the eye loop, though, all is made known. Wow. Maxime, you did a great job. Thank you for the video, buddy. And yeah, we all hope that you can join us soon live as well. We have that was from Belgium. So now we're going to get some brats. We're going to go down to Germany.
Low line on that, and that rock is big.
Oh yeah.
Brown crust too. That is wild.
I know. Okay, so before we play the video, what do you guys see? What do you guys think? What do you guys know?
Well, the only ones that I've seen with crust anywhere near that sort of color are some of the lunars like NWA 482 has crust that looks like that, and then I've seen some eucritic crusts that that look like that too.
Yep, it reminds me of Lunar.
Yeah, it looks very much like 482.
I agree.
But would 482 have diagenetic and eucritic class in them?
No.
Yeah. So, hey, Marco, tell us what we're looking at, man, because it's super sexy and super huge, just like you. I'm joking.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope everything is fine and you are enjoying the great hangout today. Yeah, I received a new piece, a nice oriented meteorite, and of course I want to show you that piece. So have fun, enjoy, and I hope you also like that piece as much as I do.
Okay guys, so here we go. That's my new meteorite. It's 1193 gram NWA, unclassified, and as you can see, shows a fracture surface, but also a part with a nice crust, and the crust still is very fresh. It shows a little bit patina, but also fantastic flow lines, as you can see here. If we have a look on the fracture surface, you can see different clasts. Dark clasts, greenish clasts, and no chondrules. So we're definitely talking about an HED. And the microscopic view shows that it is most possibly an howardite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The aligned regmaglyphs and the groove on the top are almost sharp enough to cut your fingers on.
Yeah. Whoa. Look at that.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That rock did not come cheap. Sorry, Topher, for interrupting.
Yeah, no, I told you, interject and interrupt, man. Gorgeous. Whoa, you little dog. Here, we might have to listen to a little bit more, but we don't care.
Crust. And the crust still is very fresh. It shows a little bit patina, but also fantastic flow lines, as you can see here. If we have a look on...
Look at this.
Yeah.
Is that a huge carbonaceous clast? Wow.
Surface, you can see different clasts. Dark clasts, greenish clasts, and no chondrules. So we're definitely talking about an HED. And the microscopic view shows that it is most possibly
these lines right here are about the craziest flow lines. Look at that.
Yeah. And look, now that you've got it frozen, look up at the top in that groove. Those are aligned regmaglyphs with super sharp, crisp edges on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like scoop, scoop, scoop all in a row.
Possibly an howardite.
It's a big block of howardite.
Yeah, that's stunning. If I had seen something like that on a table in the big pile of meteorites, I'd pass out trying to reach for it.
And I'd be there to catch you and steal your meteorite.
Make sure it doesn't break when he hits the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and now we're looking on the backside of the stone.
Wow.
And over here we can see.
Are you kidding me?
More aligned regmaglyphs. This isn't the backside. This is another beautiful side. Now it's oriented, so this technically is the backside, but it's stunning.
Look at that lip.
See that edge?
Yeah, and all the shell regmaglyphs on the backside there.
Wow. I feel really bad. I don't know how we should best enjoy these videos. If we should watch them through on mute one time so we could just jibber jabber and then play it through and respect their narrative. But You guys are sending us too sexy of rocks not to talk.
Yeah, this is amazing, amazing stuff.
Yeah, and now we're looking on the backside of the stone. And also here we can see the characteristic marks of an orientation. So a frothy fusion crust and of course a rollover lip. Also here we have some windows which show the nice brecciated structure of the stone.
Look at that.
Yeah, and right here you can see the frothy fusion crust and of course the rollover lip.
What a character. Oh, yeah, that's a key part for sure.
This is a stunning meteorite. This is like internet billionaire collector's material.
If we take special note of if we're going to be grading the freshness of fusion crust, if you look down here, you'll see, of course, I can't zoom in now. There, oh, now I lose my pointer. But you can see there's a dividing line down here to up here, and you can literally see the black thick fusion crust with tiny aeration bubbles in them, all the way to really thick, super protected fusion crust. And then down here on exposed surfaces, the fusion crust has been wiped away.
Right, and you could call some of that frothy fusion crust secondary because it's already crusted over, but as it's flying oriented, and this is the low pressure side of it, so the melted stuff gets suctioned around to the back side of the stone, and this is one of those extraordinarily rare cases where you will see small bubbles.
Yeah,
bubbles are generally a sign that something is not a meteorite, but on a clearly oriented stone of this class, and then we saw it too in the burnt marshmallow look of the carbonaceous chondrites, you will see some small bubbles sometimes, but
we're talking about pin pricks on the surface, not voids where you can stick your finger in them.
Right. Yes. Not like slag has.
Lose my pointer.
Except for Chico.
Pinholes. Yeah.
Yeah, next I want to show you some microscopic views. Here, for example, you can see an eucritic clast right in the middle. Here we have a nice green, most probably orthopyroxene diagonitic material. And here also we have very big dark clasts. I don't know if they are melts or maybe carbonaceous material. Also here on that view.
I thinking it's carbonaceous.
Yeah, I think you're right, Topher. I think it is carbonaceous. When you see melt like that, the edges of it are not jagged. They're very smooth, and sometimes you will actually see small vesicles inside a melt area. And if there's metal, you'll see some of that metal that's migrated and formed into round droplets. But that's too fractured and brittle looking to be a melt, I think.
And here also the brecciated structure with a lot of green orthopyroxene.
Yeah, guys, that was the new member.
1 second there, Marco, before you say goodbye. We need to take some time on this.
Yeah,
this is gorgeous. I don't know enough to talk numbers, so I won't. but there is a sliding scale, a continuum, if you will, in the HED classification, in the Vestins. So anything purported from Vesta 4 or 4 Vesta meteorite or asteroid. There's HEDs, Howardites, Eucrites, and Diagenites. So what we're looking at here is definitely an achondrite. So we're thinking it's, again, we're waiting for science, but we're hypothesizing and conjecturing based on the knowledge and observations. So if you look over here, see this green crystal, then there's another one here, another one here, all down here, this here, that here, another one right here. Those are pyroxene. Am I saying that right? I hope. Those are those are found in diagenites. So the higher the pyroxene, the more it's going to slide on the HED scale towards a diagenite. When he showed you what I call creamy, dreamy eucrite, that's what I call it. Because if you take a look in here, see these white areas? He did a good job of showing it better earlier, the eucritic clast, but it definitely has eucritic material in there. So when you're looking at an achondrite with diagenite and eucrite in it, it's probably going to be a howardite. It's probably going to be a mixture, and I'm very anxious to find out what it is going to be classified. I'm hoping, since it's already broken and it's not a complete oriented stone, that he does cut it and classify it.
Brecciated structure with a lot of green autopyroxene.
Yeah, guys, that was the new member of my oriented meteorite family. I received that piece from my meteorite buddy Rob Lenson from the Netherlands, and I want to say a big thank you to Rob, because that piece is really, really a great stone. I hope you also like that stone as much as I do, and of course I wish you all a fantastic hangout, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye, guys, from Germany.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Marco. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it makes the next 3 slides so boring that I'm going to go as quickly as humanly possible. Okay, we've been doing the knowledge bolide for a year, and we got a lot of nerds in here, so let's look at the stats. We're a year in, we have 1,800 subscribers, but that's really not important, because if you look at the number of people who are actually not subscribed who are watching, 2/3 of the people who watch aren't subscribed. So I'm not really worried about subscribers. What I'm looking at is in 2021, so just in 6 months, we've gotten 126,000 views. And if you look at it, it's growing and growing.
It's great.
So if we got 126,000 views in 6 months, the last 365 days, so the last 12 months, we only did 164. So that means in 6 months we did 40,000, and then another 6 months we did 126,000. So this is what I call a bolide, going from nothing to something. These are hours watched per day, 140 hours of educational and scientifically accurate, we try meteorite information out there on the web. So
it's on that.
So that is my self-promoting, but I have to offset it with some cross-promoting. As we mentioned his name several times, Daniel Sheikh is one of our friends of the bolide, and he is also a PhD student in geosciences, geochemistry. He's moving to Portland to continue his education. We are trying to help him get there. We've already had the $500 donation, so thank you very much. That was, oh my God, Martin Lawler. Thank you very much, Martin, for that. And we are going to be sending you a piece of my brand new iron as a thank you gift for that. You can do a screen pause and look at where my meteorites are for sale. 3, 2, 1. You can do a screen grab and get official Topherspin Meteorite merch. Pause now. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Okay, so hey, I told you I'd go quick. I tell you,
go home.
Martin actually gave 1,500 according to the GoFundMe. He gave 2 donations.
Oh, I really hope he meets his goal, because we need him, and we need him classifying meteorites for us. So that's another call out right now. If you guys have a meteorite that needs classification, please reach out to Daniel Shake. If you don't know how, you can get him through me or Pat or anyone on the Hangout, but reach out. For $350, you can get your meteorite classified, and that's full scientific workup, full write-up, over-the-shoulder review, submission to the NOMCOM, the Nomenclature Committee, review, and then publication in the Meteorological Bulletin, which is the database online, the Bible of Meteorites. So that's the end of the plug. And I did mention that you could receive one of my slices of iron. I'll tell you who has 5 slices right now.
There he is.
Working on.
Yeah. Ron, catch us up to date. Are you spotlighted? Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch us up to date,
so
buddy.
I have, let me change my camera here. I have the 5 slices highlighted here. So, oh, there they are. Okay. Turn on the flash here. Okay, there we go. All right. These are all the same slices. They came out slightly different. These came in rather rusty. And Topher requested a couple of weeks ago that I go through and try and derust them, which I did. I do have pictures of them before, but I'll save those for later. You can see these are now completely rust-free. They show different patinas depending on how I finish it. This was an oddball, an odd duck in etching and re-etching. But they came out pretty nice. I hand sanded these down to 3,000 grit sandpaper, all of them. And I individually soaked and etched these. They went through my electrolysis tank. And they came out very nice.
They are beautiful.
There was a little bit of material loss, but not much. Little pieces chipped off as I was sanding. It couldn't be helped. Some of these things are just hanging on. But it came out not bad. Now, there's a couple here that are, even though they're etched nicely, like this piece up here in the upper left-hand corner, or this piece here, shows a typical coloring. It's gray. These others seem to be little, I wouldn't say brown, but have a little cast to them. So I'm tempted to put those back in the solvent tank and take off the clear coat that I put on there and soak them a little bit longer, because they're not as clear as the other ones. But 2 of them came out just right, and 3 of them are sort of like, okay, in my opinion. Okay, I'm kind of a perfectionist.
Ron, did you try nitol?
I don't have nitol. I have ferric chloride. I looked all over Amazon, couldn't find nitol. I did find some elsewhere, but I haven't ordered it yet. That's what I was thinking of doing, is instead of using ferric chloride, using some nitol to clean them up a little bit more. I can get these back to their basic non-etched look, and use some nitol, see if it works better.
Now, a little quick public safety thing here. Nitol is very strong nitric acid mixed with alcohol. It is not to be played with. Do not use nitol unless you are a skilled professional and know all the safety risks and use all the safety precautions.
The nitol that I was looking at is 5%. It's pre-mixed. I wouldn't mix it myself. It comes pre-mixed, so it's 95% alcohol, 5% nitric acid. I do wear goggles and nitrile gloves and a chemical apron, the whole bit.
Yeah, Ron's a professional. I just want to make sure everybody at home knows that nitol is to be treated with great
it's pretty you know, way back when I was in college, I remember dealing with nitric acid. It was not something to be dealt with lightly.
It'll take your nose hairs off.
Pardon me? I missed that one.
It'll take your nose hairs off.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll definitely fume a little bit off too. So if you like, I also have your Gibeon here, if you'd like to see it.
I would love to see that.
Okay, I don't know how well it's going to show up because of reflection, but let me go and take these out.
Now, I'm very happy with those pieces.
Okay.
Especially, I do want to point out to everyone, you did hint at it, but you're being polite. They were in rough shape when you got them.
If you like to see what they were like when I got them, I'll bring it up. But okay, here's the small end. This is the better side. Let me see it turning off the flash. Will get you a better picture. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice.
And this came in as a cloudy acid burned surface. I worked on this thing for 2 hours with 2,000, 3,000 grit paper. I got it down as best as I could. There's still some little dimples in there I couldn't get to. It's not a perfectly flat surface, but it's orders of magnitude better than what it was.
Yes.
You know, it could still use a good flat lapping, but since I don't have that equipment, I couldn't do it. Here's the other side. This side was unrecognizable as a Gibeon. I thought it was ammonia loose at first, but you can see I've also got this down. It's pretty good, but you can see in this area right here. Whoops, this thing's mirror image, so I'm having trouble. This area right here, it's not as, the wind missile pattern doesn't really come out. Although nitol might do a better job. The ferrochloride I have is 34%. I just got some 43% stuff I ordered. So next time it'll be a little stronger, but still. Now this, since Gibeons are known to be pretty stable, I didn't put this through the electrolysis tank.
Yeah.
I just soaked this in alcohol for about 2 weeks. Sanded the bejesus out of it, and then etched it and sprayed it with the clear coat. Overall, it's again orders of magnitude better than what it was.
Yeah, this is the one I tried to etch myself and just burnt. I mean, acid burnt the crap out of it.
Okay, let me show you what the pieces coming in. You know, those 5 slices, what they look like coming in. I have to share my screen here, and I'll leave the screen right there and share. Okay, can you see that?
It hasn't quite come up yet.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay. Yes, you can see that it's taken outdoors in bright sunlight with my camera best as I could get it. So the corrosion was mainly in the grain structure. You can see it kind of going into the finer grains. It wasn't surface rust. It was all down inside.
Yeah.
As far as I could see. And you know, each of them was a little different, but they all were consistently down inside the cracks. You know, you can see. Can you see my mouse moving?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's all down inside these cracks. There was one that stood out as the worst. This one was pretty bad. But after about 4 days in the tank, this was all, oh yeah, here, this is one of the worst ones. You see it starting to creep into the surface structure, but it's all down inside these veins, inside the crystal structure. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This reminded me of an aerial view during the Vietnam War. You see the rivers in Vietnam in detail. This is what they look like to me. I'm a child of the 60s, so that rings, you know. So that's what they look like coming in. That's both sides of all 5.
Boy, the grain
Hey,
boundary.
Ron,
Pardon me?
would that be considered Lawrencite disease at that point?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Lawrencite disease is a green ooze that comes out of meteorites. This was not green.
Yeah, and Lawrencite, the Lawrencite disease is it oftentimes looked like it was liquid at some point, and I'm not a chemist, but it has something to do with chlorine ions in the meteorite.
Now here's what the Gibeon looked like coming in. You can see it barely. You can barely see this big thumbprint right here. You know, well, one thing about etching is you got to have an absolutely clean surface. It's got to be scrupulously clean.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a little bit later. This is when I had finished polishing it up. But that's the 320 grit, and there's 1500 grit, and 2,000 and 3,000 grit. But this is what the front looked like. It was, it was a burnt mess, let me tell you.
Hey guys, now you know why.
Pretty.
Now you know why I stick to not etching meteorites.
So
It's a specialist thing. Yeah,
the after picture right there. Came out pretty nice. You know what I could do by hand. I would love to have a flat lap machine, but I don't do enough of this kind of stuff to justify it. Okay. Anyway, Topher, let's you and I talk offline about where we go from here with all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super impressed. I want to show people what the actual main mass of that iron looks like. So let me.
Okay.
So let me try to screen share this. Boom. So that's the main mass of the iron that we're talking about.
Wow.
That's a 13855.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our slices are from like right here.
That's the very tip.
Oh yeah.
This must be a large meteorite.
Yeah, I either that or the down here, like, but you can see that there are a lot of cracks.
Yeah, this puppy has spent a lot of time on the ground and a lot of time exposed to moisture.
Yeah, moisture. Yeah, where does this come from?
When it was first found and brought to market, everyone was laughing at Juan Aviles from Jurassic Dreams because he said it's from Northwest Africa, and everyone was saying, "Are you uneducated or what? You just bought yourself a compo from Argentina."
That's not a compo.
No, it's not a compo, and it's not a million loose though.
No.
It's scientifically similar to compo. It's an AIB, but it is in Northwest African AIB, which is 100% different. Yeah. So earlier we were talking, what's his name? Marco was showing us his HED, and we were wondering, we were talking about it being a howardite. I have a howardite I want to show you guys, but before we leave with Ron, Ron is actually putting together a compilation video, and we went into this knowing it's going to be a trial and error. These are not museum pieces, you know, they're not $100 a gram, you know, rare stuff. So I said, hey, you know, we're going to experiment, we're going to get through this, and we'll get some nice pieces. He's putting together a video of his stabilization process through reverse electrolysis, and the polishing, the etching, and how he soaks it in alcohol. I mean, step by step. I think so far, last I heard, he's at like 25 to 28 minutes, and there's probably more being added. So
well, actually, it's finished. It's I edited it down to about 24 minutes. It's getting kind of long. I sped some up. I took out some redundant stuff. So it's actually finished. I uploaded it to my own YouTube site. I'll upload it to yours probably tomorrow, because it takes 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Frankly, I haven't had dinner yet, and I'm hungry. You know.
Well,
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it too. Sure. And what's great about it is it adds provenance to the pieces. So to me, it makes the pieces even more special. As Ron and I were talking offline one day, I was telling you, just having a buddy working on them is cool.
It actually goes from a box opening video right through the final weights. I mean, every step of the process. I even wear the shirt in the video.
Nice.
Last 20 seconds, I put the shirt on.
I'm really looking forward to that, man. This is my piece of Howardite.
And it's surprising, some of these Howardites, it's surprising how much they look like concrete.
Yeah.
But showing the top there with the bits of fusion crust, that's unmistakable.
Right. But you can definitely see the same kind of inclusions.
Yeah.
This is really a bright light. There we go. Maybe that's not as harsh. But yeah, just like a space rubble pile.
Mm-hmm.
Now his had a lot more diagonite material in it. Mine does not have that much diagonite material in it as his. So like we said earlier, it's a sliding scale. I wonder what but the main matrix looks to be similar.
Mm-hmm.
The tiniest little patch of fusion crust on top. So that was an example of a Howardite. Do we have any show and tell? Anyone else with their hand up that want to show something? I want to show one thing because we had a little interest and we were talking about it earlier. This is my piece of that Rumarudi we were talking about earlier. It wasn't a Christmas present from Mark. He doesn't love me that much. This is part of my Christmas present from my wife. So this is NWA 13758, 235 grams. It's an R3, Rumarudi class 3, and here she is. Well, I have to zoom out. There we go.
Nice. Wow. Nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. The Rumarudiites are very unusual. They often contain very, very little metal, and the stuff in them that looks like metal is quite oftentimes troilite, and they have a much greater percentage of barred olivine chondrules than other types of chondrites, and they show this brecciated construction so often. It's a very, very interesting group of meteorites.
And this is really a beautiful one too, especially once you turn it over and see all that fusion crust.
Look at that crust.
Wow. Killer.
That's thick and really stippily textured.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like right where your thumb is in cross section?
I'll have you repeat that in 1 second. If you see this right here,
wow,
and right there, you'll
splatters.
See while the fusion crust was still liquid, it had impactors.
Yeah, well, and sometimes that's on the backside, and it's little splatters of crust coming off of the edge. Yeah, that's cool. That's quite thick crust too. Ooh, look at that sandblasted area on the surface there. Wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm in love with this one. What's really neat is when you get down here, there's another like inclusion right there.
Oh,
I have no idea what that is.
Wild. That's a huge inclusion. A lot of times those are just called dark inclusions. Many times they are carbonaceous chondrite materials.
And as we were talking about earlier with the air bubbles, they're pinpricks.
Yeah.
Not holes, and they're not in the actual rock itself. The rock itself shows nothing except beautiful chondrules. Once you get really down in there, you see how many chondrules there are.
Yeah, that surface there is exactly what you want to see when you're going through a big box of unclassified meteorites.
Yeah. So it's a shame that you have to. I display it like this, obviously, because I want to show that fusion crust. But that is gorgeous, man. Like that's a shame to hide.
And just along the top edge there, you can see the crust cut in half, and that's really thick. Maybe not quite a millimeter, but pretty close.
I love this puppy. That's why it was part of my Christmas present, I guess. All right. We have time for more show and tell or stories, facts, questions. Need a term described? Well, oh, we have Jules in the house with her hand up. Let's go right to her. If you turn on your camera, I'll spotlight you, and we'll see what you've been up to.
Oh, wrong way. Alrighty. Does this, it does not zoom in, does it? This is something that I purchased from Topher. I just cut it the other day. And
wow.
Gorgeous.
It's kind of blurry. But it was a fun one to cut. I don't polish a lot of them yet because I had a disaster incident with my thin ones and they all broke in half, which I won't be doing again. But this one was a fun one to. There's just a unclassified.
Okay.
Unclassified. NWA.
She's got a little Rock Rascal 6-inch, I think it is, and yeah,
it's a high tech.
The high tech.
Yeah,
6-inch. She makes it work. I mean, look at.
And this one I did polish it. This is not a. Yes, it's cut, but I did actually bring it to 600 grit, which
looks phenomenal.
Usually I only go to, I don't know, 325, I think. For taking pictures, sometimes when you have less of a shine, it takes better still photos. Mm-hmm. This fun little one here. Oh, this was fun to cut. Because look at that.
Wow. H class, I'd say.
Yeah.
I did make a little video for this one just because it was so neato inside. There's a lot of metal. You cannot see the chondrules in there right now, but there are chondrules in there. I'll shoot you the video one of these days.
Try putting just one up to the screen rather than both and see if it will focus on that.
Those match pair?
I sliced it.
Yeah.
It's one piece that, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's not turned out too well, but I'll shoot you the video. It's way better. It shows up way better and you can see everything in it. And I think it has a little fusion crust on one part of it and the rest of it sandblasted. So nice. That's all I have for today.
Sweet. That is awesome. Thanks, Jules. I appreciate it. Yeah,
yep.
It's
sharing.
Really nice to see a new collector jumping into the hobby and jumping in with both feet and a saw. Like to see that. Yeah, nice.
That's the only way I can jump into it and learn is by actually doing it. It's very hard for me to learn seeing pictures and or videos. So I am very interested in this and I've been trying to teach myself and connect with you guys and watch your videos. They're very informative and very helpful. And I would have not been doing this without it, to be honest. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. You guys have kept my attention for a year. That's unusual. You guys are doing awesome. And I really appreciate it. And I'm having a lot of fun and I love learning about it. And I have, wow, so much more to learn. There's a lot. It's hard to keep track of everything. So, but it's fun and I absolutely love it. I love cutting rock. well, I love cutting meteorites.
Yeah.
More than anything, I should say.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, great having you here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. One of the goals of the Hangout and the channel and the Knowledge Bolide crew is to have a, I hate the term, but have a safe space, have a fun place for everyone to come and talk and ask questions and not feel embarrassed because you don't know the answer and you have to ask, what does brecciation or what does differentiated mean? Like, everyone at one point doesn't know what that means. Everyone had to ask, and guess what? I had to ask 5 times before I finally learned it, you know? So that's one of the goals of what we're building here and have been building for the last year. And through the stats I showed you guys, it's really taking off. It's comments like that, and then what we did during the pause helping out Matt. It's those type of things that really give me the motivation to continue doing this week after week, and because it is a lot of work to put these videos together. So that type of feedback is amazing, and I'm really glad that you shared it with us, and I'm glad that we have a couple of new people each and every week joining us. So we had Jules, who's now a regular. Sam Lopez has been a regular for months. Marissa has been months again. So yeah, fly on the wall. We see you buzzing around. All right, guys, thanks for another great hangout. I really appreciate everyone as a person, and I appreciate your time spent with me. Please send me an IM about what you showed off, so it'll make the summary a little bit easier for me. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Topher.
Good night, Topher.
See you, everybody.
Good night.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.